This video shows you how to gather all items and Temtem you need to find and virtually guarantee catching your very own Luma Temtem. I go over each item, what they do, and how to find them. I also explain the 4 types of Temtem you'll need in your party. I give examples of what Temtem to use and what Temtems not to use. This video is a companion to my step-by-step Temtem Luma Shiny Hunting Guide, which explains how to use the Temtem squad we're making in this video. You can watch these videos in any order. I'm Milars, and I've personally caught over 24 Lumas without having any faints on me or running out of cards, so I know these techniques work. Before we get into the video, let us know in the comments what your first Luma was, or what first Luma you're hoping to get. My first Luma was a Hidudi. He's all grown up now. So cute. If you end up liking the video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to learn more about how to catch Luma Temtem and watch more Temtem content, consider subscribing and clicking the bell icon to get alerted when those videos are posted. Now let's get into it. So you want to catch a shiny Luma Temtem of your own? Here are the items you'll need before you go hunting for one. A 4-leaf clover, a decoy, and a lure. You'll also need some type of temp cards. The more pluses, the better. If you're in the Psy Park, the Psy cards are the only cards that work in the park, so make sure to buy some cards before entering the park. Psy cards also only work in the park. Make sure you have normal temp cards or temp card pluses if you're outside the park. Besides the temp cards, none of the items are absolutely necessary for catching a Luma, but they are still highly recommended. They will make your life easier, potentially save you hours of hunting, and prevent tragic failures like running out of temp cards, having your team knocked out before you catch a wild Luma, or having the Luma faint itself. If you already have all of these items, you can skip to the time on the screen to get to the recommended Temtem. The first item is the 4-leaf clover. The clover increases the catch rate of wild Temtem, meaning you won't have to throw as many cards to secure a catch. This will make it less likely that you'll run out of cards before catching your Luma and save you money on cards. This is especially essential if you're hunting in the Psy Park with limited cards. You can find the 4-leaf clover in the Aquamarina Caves in Denez at the end of a crystal maze puzzle. To get there, surf up to the top of the Solaro River and enter the cave on the left. Walk through the leftmost cave opening and complete a sliding puzzle to get to the clover. Look away from the screen now if you don't want to see the solution to the maze. Okay, you can look again. The second item is the decoy. This item guarantees that every attempt to run from wild encounters will be successful. The decoy will save you from getting stuck in random battles and having to watch the wild Temtems move animations before you try to run again. This item ensures you have more chances to find your Luma and could save you countless hours of wasted time without it. You obtain the decoy after completing the Missing Kate side quest in Brissal de Mar. Start the quest by talking to Headmistress Dolka on the 2nd floor of the Academia. Then surf across Indigo Lake and talk to the 2 kids. Head back to the mistress and the decoy is yours. The third item is a lure. This item forces wild Temtem to target their attacks on your Temtem that is holding the lure. The lure in this case is meant to go on a tanky Temtem partnered with Benefactor Kinu, which I'll get into shortly. You can get the lure after completing part of the Travel Writer side quest. Start the quest by talking to Tarle, the travel writer aboard the narwhal on your way to the 2nd island, Omninesia. After deboarding the narwhal, walk to this house in Omninesia. Report to Tarle about Denez and the lure is yours. If you miss Tarle on the narwhal, don't worry, you can start the quest at her house too. The fourth item is some sort of temp card. Make sure you have as many as you can possibly afford, just in case you get extremely unlucky with your Luma breaking out of temp cards. Temp card pluses are twice as effective as normal cards, so have plenty of those in your inventory if you can afford it. You unlock temp card pluses starting in Omninesia. In the Psy Park, I like to have at least 8 cards if I'm Luma hunting. but sometimes I buy more for insurance if the Temtem I'm hunting has a low catch rate. You can check Temtem's catch rates on the wiki. A lower number means it's harder to catch. Remember, side cards are the only cards that work inside Park, but they don't work outside of Side Park, so make sure you have the appropriate cards on you. I said in the step-by-step guide that grease is optional, however, it's such a niche item in Luma hunting that I'm not going to cover it. If you don't have a strong cage user, you're probably better off just getting the Luma low and chucking cards at it without trapping it. That's it for the items. Now let's move on to the Temtem. In addition to the items, there are Temtem you'll want to gather before starting your hunt. These Temtem are more of a suggestion to make your Luma catch as easy and stress-free as possible. These Temtem are a Kinu with the Benefactor trait and the technique Hypnosis, a tanky Temtem, a Temtem that can learn Cage, and an extra Temtem to hold a Decoy. This section includes a lot of lists of possible Temtem and traits. You don't have to memorize any of these lists. You can always come back to this video to double check whether your Temtem fits the bill. The first Temtem is Kinu. The trait Benefactor heals Kinu's ally for 10% of the ally's HP whenever the ally is damaged in battle. This means that the Kinu can potentially heal its ally for more than the untamed Temtem is damaging the ally, ensuring your Temtem always stay healthy. You can give your Kinu the technique Revitalize for extra healing assurance, and Lifeful Sap just in case the wild Temtem has an attack that targets both of your Temtem. Make sure your Kinu has Hypnosis equipped as well, since giving untamed Temtem status conditions like Asleep and Trapped will increase its catch rate. You can find Kinu at the Giant Banyan in Soteria Omninesia after defeating Dr. Hamijo in Anak Volcano. Kinu has a 5% encounter rate, but it is well worth the time to catch. Note that 50% of the Kinu you encounter will have the Protector trait, a great trait for competitive, but not for our purposes. If you get a Protector Kinu, you can breed it with any male nature or mental Temtem until you get a Benefactor Kinu. It's probably easier to just keep searching for a Benefactor Kinu so you don't have to level up one from an egg. If you don't want to hunt for a Benefactor Kinu because of its 2.5 encounter rate, Luma hunting probably isn't for you. I'm going to go over other potential ways to get a Luma in a future video. Most of those Lumas won't have you as their original tamer though. If you don't have access to a Kinu but still want to hunt, you can replace a Kinu with a Temtem with Hypnosis, Lullaby, or Relax, as these three moves all put Temtem to sleep. Just be sure your tank plus sleeper Temtem team won't get severely hurt by the Temtem you're trying to catch. It's best if the Hypnosis Temtem you're using is as fast as possible to be able to put the untamed Luma to sleep faster than the Luma can attack. Note that all mental Temtem as well as Temtem with the traits Caffeinated, Sentinel, and Neutrality are immune to the sleep condition. The second Temtem you'll want is a Temtem that can tank any hits from any untamed Temtem in the area you're hunting. This tank will be paired with Kinu for extra healing. This tank plus Kinu team ensures your Temtem won't be knocked out before you can catch your Luma. If you far outlevel the Temtem in the area, this might be overkill. Generally, I use my Golder Puddles because he is naturally tanky and trained to be even tankier. If the area I'm hunting has Temtem with wind moves, I use my Mudrid Garnet as a tank instead. So long as your Temtem can survive getting hit over and over again, it'll work. You can test out different Temtem in the area you want to hunt in by putting the lure on the tank, sending it out with your Kinu, and just waiting during encounters. Some suggestions for tank include Velocity Cerneve, Body Stretch Asukai, Coward Dress Grumper, Temtem who learn Lifeful Sap like Bolfi, a second Kinu, or a Saku through breeding, and Mastion and Rolder, who can double as your cage users. Be aware that some Temtem should not be used as tanks. This includes Temtem with the abilities that inadvertently damage the Temtem that attack it, like Mirroring, Fainted Curse, Toxic Farewell, and Wrecked Farewell. Puppet Master and Shared Pain also should be avoided. Again, these are suggestions that you do not have to memorize. This video will always be here as a reference. The third Temtem you'll want on your hunt is a Cage user. Cage is a technique that can only be learned through a technique course, found in the Mines of Mictlan. If you don't have access to Cage yet, a Babawa with the technique Slime can be used instead. As I said before, negative status conditions increase untamed Temtem's catch rates. Cage and Slime apply the condition Trapped. They do not damage the untamed Temtem, ensuring the Temtem won't accidentally faint. While not absolutely necessary, it's still good to have both a Hypnosis user and a Cage or Slime user to apply both conditions to the untamed Temtem for the best possible chance of catching the Luma. Cage and Slime have the added bonus of being usable on those Temtem that are immune to the Asleep condition, with the exception of Temtem with the Neutrality trait. Cage can even be used before throwing a Temp card on the same turn. Pretty much any Cage user will work, though it's best to use a Temtem that will be able to withstand at least one hit from the untamed Luma. Two noteworthy Cage users are Mastion and Rolder, as I mentioned earlier. Mastion and Rolder can be used as both a tank and a Cage user, reducing the need for two Temtem to fill these roles. The fourth Temtem is almost any Temtem to hold a Decoy. This can be a Temtem you want to show off in the first party of your slot, or just a random Temtem in your second slot, with Kinu in your first slot. Just make sure the Temtem holding a Decoy does not have an ability that procs at the start of battle, as this will increase the time spent in each encounter and decrease your chances to find a Luma. Traits to avoid are Deceit Aura, Demoralize, and Protector. Let me know in the comments if I've missed a trait. That's all there is to it. If you want to learn how to use these Temtem and items in a Luma encounter, check out my How to Luma Hunt step-by-step guide. Do note that if you're not in the site park, the Luma level is low, and you have plenty of Temp card pluses you don't care about wasting, you can probably forego the waiting and just start chucking cards at it. If this guide helped you catch your very own Luma, consider giving this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment telling everyone what Luma you caught, and share it with your friends. I would really appreciate it. Let's get this channel off the ground! Thank you so much! If you want more Luma hunting tips and other Temtem content, subscribe and hit the bell icon, and I'll see you next time!